Hey everybody, Omar here, your South African knife guy, and I'm back with another fun-filled video for you. If you guys remember last week, I did a video on this knife, which is the Spear Fisher. Pretty significant because it's my very first Bestech knife by Todd Knife and Tool design. I really love this knife. I had nothing to say about this knife other than the fact that it was absolutely spectacular. So yeah, this was the Spearfisher, and today I got a new one from the same company, Bestech. Why don't you guys check that out? This one is called the Ornetta, and this is the box that it comes in. Right, along with the box, you get a beautiful Bestech pouch. Their packaging is really sweet, really nice. You get all the fun stuff, memorabilia, their warranty card, a cleaning cloth, and a plastic to keep the knife in. So now we're going to take a look at the star of the show. Behold, the Ornetta. Now, this knife is made by Bestech and knife designer, and I'm going to say his name correctly now, Grzegorz Grabarzski, otherwise known as KOMBOU. This is from Bestech Knives and knife designer KOMBOU, otherwise known as Grzegorz Grabarzski. And take a look at this folder here. This one runs on ball bearings. Okay, we have a nice flat grind blade, flat grind on this beautiful drop point blade. I believe that is a compound grind. We've got black wash on the flats and just a regular finish on the drop point blade there. There's quite a few things about this knife that just blew me away when I got it. First of all, the action is really sweet. It's drop point shut. Since I'm already on that subject, for deployment, there's 3 different ways you can deploy this knife. You can do the middle finger flick, or the reverse flick as they call it, and then you can also use the flipper, which is also very nice. You can also do the thumb flicking motion, but it's a little difficult. You kind of have to get, see, as you see, sometimes you got to keep your hand away from that lock bar in order to do it. And there you go. So there's the thumb flick. So it's not a deployment that I highly recommend with this knife. So let's take a look at this piece here. There's like so many things going on with this knife, I really don't know where to begin. First of all, the milling. Okay, now you guys have to keep in mind this is a production knife. Okay. Now, normally production knives do not have the level of milling detail that this knife has got. It's absolutely ridiculous. You've got these sort of half moons going across, and then there's these lines going across the top of the handle of the knife there. Sort of like this really beautiful artistic expression type thing going on. Take a look at the pivot. I mean, the pivot also has milling on it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's milling on the pivot on both sides, right there. And of course, the half moons are actually mimicked on the other side of the knife. Beautiful pocket clip, black wash pocket clip. So the entire knife has a really nice theme to it with the black screws and the blue going up against it. And then of course the matching black wash up there on the flat. So you can clearly tell they're trying to go with some sort of artistic theme on this one. But they really went overboard with this piece. Ergonomics on this are incredible. The thing is round. If you guys look at the knife, you can tell it's a rounded knife. There are no flat edges. Say, for example, the ZT, which is, ergonomically well done. As far as ergonomics go, even though it's a flat knife, it still has the ergos where you could actually use the knife for long periods of time to use it for cutting tasks. The Ornetta is the same thing, but they made it even more comfortable because this thing actually literally melts in your hand. literally melts in your hand. So the the grip on it is absolutely spectacular. You're not going to have any problem using this knife to cut for hours and hours because it feels really, really nice. Beautiful back spacer. Again, more, like more milling with the back spacer over there. Almost total open construction. As you guys can see, there's a lot of stuff going on in this knife. As you guys can see, there's milling on the inside of the knife to reduce it for weight. Blade steel is M390. You can't go wrong with that. Back to the milling because it's ridiculous. I'm going to try and hold it up to the light, see if you guys can see this. I don't know if you can, but if you look very closely, you'll see these sort of milled lines going right around the pivot. And then basically what happens is these mill lines actually run all the way across the knife. You can barely see it, but it's there. It runs all the way across the knife exactly in the same order, and then it fades into this blue stone wash. But yet it's still there, so I don't know how they did that, because don't forget, this knife is done by CNC machining. Grzegorz Grabarzski, otherwise known as KOMBOU, he's a knife designer. So he designed the knife, got together with Bestech. Bestech saw the knife, did a prototype, and then came up with this model knife called the Ornetta. Really nice action. The flipper works beautifully. Just very, very smooth, runs on caged ball bearings. I mean, this is an overall spectacular piece. Blade length is 3.5 inches. Handle length is right about, I'm going to guess it's probably right around 3.6. So for a total of maybe like about 9 inches overall for the entire length of the knife. So let's go ahead and do some size comparisons so we can get that out of the way. I'm going to use some knives that most of you guys know. How about the first one I brought out, the not the Benchmade, but the ZT 0562. Pretty much everybody that's a knife collector's got this in their collection. There's one. How about we put it also up against the Benchmade Anthem, which is now discontinued. Very well, nice and pretty. How about the Spyderco Sage? Does that work for you? So as you guys can see, it's about the same size, maybe a hair bit longer than the Benchmade Anthem. But I believe it is roughly about the same size lengthwise as the 0562. And yeah, that's absolutely correct. They're about the same size for that one. So finally, to finish it all off, let's go ahead and put it up against the Benchmade Bug Out, Mini Bug Out carbon fiber. So there you go. Now this knife pretty much falls, which is how I always like to do my size comparisons. I like to do small, medium, large. So just to give you guys a good idea, this knife falls into the large category. So you got your small, medium, large. So that's it for the size comparisons. How about one more, because I like this knife so much. The Kershaw bare knuckle knife in M390. And this one's also the same exact size. Actually, yeah, it's slightly taller than the Kershaw bare knuckle knife. So the Ornetta, probably the star of this show, is all the milling that's on this thing. It's absolutely ridiculous. What's great about this knife is that it has just as much form as it does function, in a sense that the knife is so pretty all the way around, but yet at the same time, you can easily use this knife like you would, let's say, the ZT, where this is like a heavy user knife. You could do the same with this one. This is an all titanium knife. There's nothing, this knife is completely solid. There is no blade play on this thing whatsoever. The centering is absolutely perfect on that thing. That is dead as dead can get. Really great pocket clip. Everything on the knife is sculpted. That's what's weird about it. I've never seen a knife that has so much detail on it as far as, artistic expression and actual use of the knife. Grzegorz Grabarzski, again, he was originally an engineer turned knife designer. He designed this piece with Bestech. Apparently, he made the prototype, sent it off to Bestech. Bestech came back and created a prototype for him to look at, and he re-examined it, made sure everything was working, and this is the final knife that it became. But I mean, if you look at any custom knife, or this knife would pretty much easily come up against any custom knife out there as far as detail goes. I mean, come on, take a look at all of the CNC machining that went into this. Look at the dip in the finger choils there, and for the, right at the bottom of the knife here. Again, the half moons, the lines. I mean, it's all. Oh, there's like so much detail in this. It's all over the place. What shocks me is the price of this knife. $250. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that's about the same price for the ZT 0562 like a decade ago, right? And this was actually customized for me. So the ZT 0562 just came in regular silver stonewashed, and I had this done by knife modders just to give it some sort of customization. But I don't know if we're going to find ourselves doing that less and less to knives, just because knives are looking like this now out of a factory. All right, now you have to keep this in mind. As much detail as this knife has, right? All these swoops and curves and CNC machining on both sides of the knife, which is absolutely crazy. They're mass producing this thing. Okay, they're I don't know how many of these they've made. Even if they made, let's say, only 100 of them, you can't even imagine how many CNC machines it takes just to do one of the millings on this thing. Just going to go ahead and lower my air conditioner so you guys can hear me talk a little better. I mean, it's just over the top with the details on this knife. I've never seen anything like it. Plus, it's got everything you want a knife to have. It's got the action. It's got the artistic expression. You can use it for hard hitting tasks. Really good with drawing tasks with that nice drop point blade. You can also use it for piercing because that tip is really killer. Again, something that's kind of interesting is even on the blade, look at that. The blade is sculpted as well as it comes down to the tip. Let me just open that up so you guys can see it a little bit better. So I think this is probably one of the advantages of working with a knife designer, is that he's going to go crazy with the design. He's going to send it off to the knife company. They're going to see if they can do a prototype. And then the next thing you know, you've got a work of art that is just as user-friendly as any regular, everyday cutting tool like the ZT0562. I think that that's really important to understand, because this is where knives are going to go now. We're going to see more knives like this with so much artistic detail in it. Do I think that the price is going to go down? I don't know, but I think that CNC machining is currently now at its peak, with designers like I just messed up his name, like Grzegorz Grabarzski, otherwise known as KOMBOU, coming up with these really crazy, insane designs, and factories are actually able to create a prototype just as the knife designer had envisioned it. And I think we're going to see more stuff like this, and it's because of designs like this, where you've got really large companies like Spyderco that are trying to keep up, and of course obviously ZT is pretty much dead in the water, because they would never release a knife like this or even consider working with a knife maker like KOMBOU over here. It's just not going to happen. That's why we're seeing a lot of knife companies like like Kaiser, like Bestech. They're kind of branching out and trying to really work with the knife designers to a point where they're going to come out with insane stuff like this, almost to the point of it being custom-like. Now, does this mean that custom knives are going to go away? No, but it's going. I mean, knives are going. The knife world is completely changing with stuff like this. I mean, this is just. Thank you, by the way. This is just absolutely insane. I mean, CNC machining from a factory. I mean, like 10 years ago, I never would have seen a titanium knife like this with all this stuff on it. I'm going to try and see if I can hold it up to the camera again. Can you guys see any of the milling on this thing? Like right around the pivot, there's these faint lines. How the hell did they do that? Because it runs all the way across the knife. And even as I'm holding it, I know I have to look very closely, but it runs all the way across the knife, and then it fades into that blue. I mean, that's just absolutely nuts. So, I mean, I think the point of this video is that you're getting all of this, okay, all of this for like $250. $250. You're getting so much. You're getting the action. You're getting the nice drop point blade. You're getting the M390 blade. You're getting all titanium construction, all the milling. I mean, this is more than anything that ZT or Benchmade or even Kershaw would ever offer you for the same price. Keep this in mind. This is the Kershaw bare knuckle knife here. I mean, this is like $250 also, and this was a limited edition knife. They don't even make this anymore, and yet they're giving, and it's nice, they're giving you all the carbon fiber and all the nice deep pot clip and all that. But my point is this. Let me put these guys away. As far as this knife goes, this is on another level. I don't know if this is like a game changer for knife making or knife companies, but working with a knife maker like this, Grzegorz Grabarzski, otherwise known as KOMBOU, who's doing so much detail, on a knife design, and having the knife company Bestech being able to duplicate it in such a really great. For such a really great price. I mean, that just kind of blows my mind away. It's just something to think about. The action really is buttery smooth on this thing. Yeah. Reverse flick is really nice. I mean, it's just... I mean, pocket clips. There's my perfect example. All right, pocket clips, right? Take a look at the ZT. I mean, this is all we got with the ZT, this black pocket clip. I mean, it's nice, it's deep carry. It was more of a functioning pocket clip. We wanted a nice deep pocket carry, and that's what they gave us. These guys, look what they did. Look at the pocket clip on this thing. It's insane. It's sculpted. It's not just a pocket clip, it's a work of art. So, in conclusion to this video, I really believe that a lot of the knives, we're going to be seeing a lot of knife companies come out with knives like this where they're over-the-top detail, and yet they don't lose any of the function that a knife is supposed to have. And it's just going to pretty much promote, it's getting to the point where custom knives are promoting production knives are promoting custom knives, back and forth, until you come up with something like this that's just blows your mind, because a knife like this never would have existed even 10 years ago. But now that knife making and knife buying and knife collecting is reaching its peak, we're going to be seeing a lot of just crazy stuff like this with so much detail on it. It's just insane. KOMBOU is the name of the designer. Grzegorz Grabarzski is the gentleman's name. I'm not used to saying that. There's the logo for Bestech knife. So if you're looking to get your very first Bestech knife, check this one out. I mean, you're getting more bang for your buck with this one in the design, in the ergonomics, in the blade shape. Everything is answered in just one knife. It's like we've gone through like a decade or 15 years of knives, and now we come across a knife like this, which is like everything you ever wanted in one knife. Because 10 years ago this would have been like a $500 knife, and now it's only down to about $250. So I mean, it just blows my mind where we're going. you know, especially with knife prices going up and up and up and up, it's kind of good to see something like this where you're still able to get more than a bargain. Anyway, this is Omar, your South African knife guy, giving you my take on the Bestech Ornetta, which is, again, this is an art type knife. It's also a knife you could go out and literally use for everyday hard tasks. Why not? It's titanium and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Before I close, I just want to let you guys know I got quite a few wallets that are coming my way. I'm going to review those. I'm not going to give it away, but I mean, you know, they're going to be coming like next week, I hope. And one of the wallets is actually from a new wallet company, and I'm kind of excited to show that one to you. And the other one you guys have heard of, but I've never gotten one. That's another story for another time. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. You guys have fun, fantastic Saturday, and I'll see you next week with those wallets. Have a good day.